Well, 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 Blue Cantrell. Here we are together for another episode of A Seat at the Table. Hopefully, you are having a wang dang doodle of a week because I already hate it. Okay. All right. We're going to breathe this through. We're going to do this together. We're going to hold hands. We're going to pray my strength. We're going to extend our right hand. We're going to pray over me. All that good stuff. All right, y'all. Happy days. Okay. You get a podcast and you get a podcast and you get a podcast. Yes. Back again like we never left, although it feels like I have not spoken to you guys in so long. So for that, I do apologize. I am your host, still the only friend you got. It's me, Gail. What's going on? You can find us on all the social media platforms. A Seat at the Table Pod, all one word, on Instagram. You could also find me on Twitter, although I gotta tell you, my Twitter game is dry boots. Every once in a while, I might come out the woodwork and give you a little ha! And then you go back in and you're like, okay, well, haven't heard from her in about 2 weeks. And then she just comes out of nowhere and says one thing. Yeah, that's kind of my life on Twitter. But whatever. If you want to follow me, come on. It's at Gail Z Hurst, Hurst, all one word. The handle is Galanta Adams. And, no explanation needed. So listen, it's Monday. It is a beautiful day. If you are on the East Coast, if you are in the Northeast, it is a gorgeous day. I was pretty sure I saw Noah's Ark on Saturday. I saw it just kind of sailing by because that's how much it rained. But you know what? You know what I say? I say that we need the rain because now the foliage, is growing in and the flowers are coming and, it's just always a good time. So everybody just get over it. And that includes me. So how is your day, your week so far? How was your weekend? Mine was kind of, I don't know. We'll get into that later. It was not that great. I kind of did what I always do, which is, mask my feelings in something that's probably not that great. And I actually did that on every front. I masked it in who I was with. I masked it in what I was doing. All things that are bad for me, but I just felt bad for myself. So it was why not just engage in a bunch of, bothersome behavior? All right, don't look at me like that. You're already oh my God, girl, what is going on with you? Same shit that's going on with you, Judgy Wudgy. All right. So yeah, whatever. So anyways, there is actually quite a bit to unpack. No, because it's been a while since we talked. If you care or don't care, Chrissy Teigen and John Legend had their baby. Yay, good for them. So excited. I think last week was Laurel Yanny week or something like that. Now listen, okay? Because we haven't talked since that shit happened, and I know you guys have something else to focus on because your attention span to all things pop and political, culturally relevant can only withstand about 30 seconds of real attention before you shift off into something else. But nonetheless, if you heard Yanny, then you are like me, which means that, you know what? Congratulations, Karen. You win at life. So good for you. The rest of us who heard Yanny and who did not hear Laurel, yeah, we're stupid alike. So there you go. Apparently it was Laurel, but I think that because there had been so many re-recordings to the original recording of them saying Laurel. Do we give a fuck about this shit? We don't, do we? We don't give a fuck. Who cares? Lanny, Laurel, Yanny, land roll, whatever, who cares? That's how I feel. All right, so let's get into some real shit because, like, I haven't spoken to you guys since Azealia. And all this time I've been saying Azealia Banks as in Iggy Azalea, or Icky Azalea as I like to refer to her. But it is Azealia. Her mom's name is Cecilia, and her mom, I guess, wanted her name to sound like that. So it is Azealia Banks. So we haven't spoken since since she had her interview on The Breakfast Club, which I thought was a really decent interview. I think the only thing that I was really annoyed with was she shared, now I don't know if it appeared this way on the show because I never actually get up and listen to the show. I kind of just like subscribe to the podcast, and when there's anything good or worth hearing, which is mostly just the interview and not them, shucking and jiving or whatever the case is, I normally just listen to the interview. Have a nice day. It's a great relationship. I get in and get out when I need to. But at any rate, so I was a little bit more upset because she had shared time with Melissa McCarthy, whatever her last name is. You know who it is. You know what I mean? And anyways, I kind of felt like her interview should have been longer. Just I think the streets wanted to hear a longer interview. I think we wasted way too much time on her date rape story, which was way too graphic for me. I don't really care to understand how she was getting her butt licked out and this man allegedly raped her. I thought that was like way beyond. All right, so let's just go ahead and unpack this from the very beginning, right? So I thought that what she talked about in terms of, first of all, she's a very intelligent young lady, very, very smart, obviously very well read. And I think that she has a very realistic sense of self. You know what I mean? Good, bad, or indifferent. And I think that when she talked about the Russell Crowe RZA incident, I thought it lent itself to the fact of, a lot of the things that she talks about in terms of experiential, being a dark-skinned woman in the hip-hop industry and what have you. I think that those kind of situations kind of lend itself to her story. And if you don't know the story between her, Russell Crowe, and RZA, she allegedly was at a party and Russell Crowe spit at her allegedly and choked her allegedly. Now, originally RZA had said, no, that did not happen, right? So if you go back to the original story, which I felt like it was interesting that Charlemagne didn't spend a lot of time on this, although I guess, but the original point of it all is that RZA said the way that Azealia had recounted the story was not, in fact, the truth. RZA later came out and actually acknowledged the fact that Russell Crowe may have spit and it may have been towards Azalea's way. Now, this is a total recant to his original story backing Russell Crowe, saying that all of the things that Azealia had said were in fact false and that she was crazy, and he outed her for having paid some of her therapy bills, lending itself to the credence of her being crazy. Now, okay, fast forward now. She also talked about how, you really cannot subscribe to the opinions of Azealia Banks because she is just kind of saying what she thinks, and she's not saying that anybody has to, big her up and say that, yes, what she's saying is in fact true, blah, da, 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 da. So then, messy ass, the messy light-skinned one. What's his name? DJ Envy. So DJ Envy asks Azealia about why she in fact referred to Cardi as I want to say she called her a illiterate rat. yeah, she somehow, and I don't know how this even came to be, but she referred to Cardi as an illiterate, untalented rat. Now, the extra, the actual extra to the story is that in the same interview where she says, listen, don't take me seriously, da 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 da, and he asked her about this, and she says, listen, you know what? I did say that because I believe that the culture of black women in music was shifting towards a more conversational kind of artistic presentation. Now, ding your bell when she says anything that is false, okay? Ding your bell, okay? Here we go. She says that here was black female music moving towards this lemonade, a seat at the table, you know, all of this other stuff. We were moving towards conversation and art and all of these things and acceptability. And then here comes the industry allowing what she refers to as a caricature of black women. And, you know, Azealia later goes on to say that the culture was reaching an all-time high. Then Cardi's career helped towards lending itself towards a caricature of black women. Well, listen, Cardi didn't like this, and Cardi gave her own Instagram press release where she in part said, people followed me on Instagram and the people gave me my platform, blah, da, 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 da. So she basically was saying, listen, don't be mad at me because the people love me. Now, listen, I think that these two opinions, both Cardi's and Azealia's, can exist in a world where they're mutually exclusive and both be right. People did give Cardi her platform. People did see her character and kind of fell in love with her personality. I will say this. If you go back to mixtape Cardi, now who she was and what she presented on Instagram and then kind of, you know, all of those things, I feel like she's been consistent about that. You know what I mean? Whether you feel like it's a caricature or not, or however you feel about it, she's been consistent. I do also believe that, to Azealia's point, the music industry definitely chooses who it lets through the door. You know, what that's going to look like. There have been a lot of dope female MCs who haven't gotten the big up that Cardi has gotten, who, you know, and one could say, hey, it was Love and Hip Hop, it was the Instagram, it was the ba-da-da-da-da, whatever, it was the money, it was all of that shit, you know, that kind of gave her come up. Because let's be honest, she had a couple of mixtapes and no one had noticed. I think the Love and Hip Hop thing definitely helped, but I do think that what Cardi looks like, skin complexion and all, definitely lends itself to the propelling of her career. Now, I think that when it comes to Azealia, I think that she can sometimes be her own worst enemy. I think that, you know, there is a role that has to be played, and Cardi is playing her role. Now, I think the thing that got me a little bit kind of like, Cardi, God, was that she responded with, stupid hoe, unimportant, unattractive, unemployed, 3 LOL emojis. Tell a Maddie get some guap guap bacon head. Anyway, this went on for pretty much the whole fucking week. Now you had celebrities weighing in, the likes of Tank, girl please, Sky Jackson, okay, whatever, and other people weighing in about, you know, what's the deal with Azealia and Cardi. Now, my personal opinion is, a dog howls at the moon. The moon doesn't howl back. I think that everyone loves Beyonce and everybody can't be Beyonce, but if there is one thing for you to learn from Beyonce, is shut the fuck up. Yeah. Shut the entire whole globe up. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Oh my God. Girls, shut the fuck up, would ya? I mean, honestly. Cardi does not need to fucking respond to every fucking nook and cranny that comes her way. I get it. you wanted to defend yourself, but you were defending yourself in a court of